Hey, everybody, you made it. I guess you made it if you were trying to get to the how to make money with email mastermind. You made it. So congratulations. First thing of the day, day one. I'm excited to chat with you for the next 5 days in a row as we spar and go round and round on the awesomeness of email. Right now, there are exciting things happening, I think, in the email space, which is a welcome respite from some of the madness that's happening in other areas of digital content creation. So email can be hopefully for all y'all an exciting place that you can turn to and start seeing some exciting growth. And more than that, perhaps some engagement with your audience. So if you're just joining us over in the chat, people are letting us know about their families, so to speak, their fur baby families, or let's see, any non-fur. Nobody's put their boa constrictor on here. Yeah, oh, the guinea pigs. Oh, cute. My wife and I, we don't have pets, but we watch our daughter's dog all the time, and that dog is in love with my wife. In fact, it's a little awkward because it comes running to her before mama. So it's a thing. Anyway, so we are not completely cold-hearted. Of course, your dog's name's Mojo, Kylie. That's so that's on brand. All right, let's get to this. So I am going to share my screen here because I learned once that you need to do PowerPoint presentations to seem professional. And as you can tell, I'm nothing if not professional. All right, so here we go. That is me. Hopefully you can see that. That's my overly photoshopped face there from probably 10 years ago. Don't tell. So as I mentioned, I live in Arizona. This is my family here that most of them are grown up a little bit since then. In fact, the kid on the far right of the picture, he actually is married and has our first grandchild. Her name is Claire. I feel terrible for other grandparents out there or wannabe grandparents because I know that you all have aspirations to have the cutest grandchild in the world, but unfortunately that has been already locked up. You can shoot for number 2 if you want. On the left are my 2 daughters. They are both married as well. So I've got 3 married kids. We are now officially empty nesters. And I'll tell you, it's pretty great. This is a fantastic stage of life. What do I know about email? Wow, that's a segue. I have been doing email for the last 25 years in one way, shape, or another because I've been involved in the digital space with startups for that time. But my most recent, prior to this gig, which by the way, I just passed 5 years of full time doing this. Before that, I was the chief marketing officer for a daily deal website. Do you remember when everybody had a Groupon clone? Well, we were a Groupon clone and we had no budget to speak of. So we had a lot of emails to send out to try to drive sales of stuff that people didn't actually need or want. And so I learned a lot about email during that time. Around that time, somewhere in there, my wife and I decided to join with y'all in the blogosphere. And so we created a Disney-related website. And using the techniques that I'm going to share with you today, we grew our list from 0 subscribers when we registered the domain name of September 2016 to 2 years later, we had 40,000 subscribers. And doing the exact thing that I'm going to tell you today. All right. Now, I have been working since that time with some of the world's greatest content creators, some of you on this call included. And it's been a huge privilege to learn and implement my tactics and to watch them work. It's been fantastic. It's been a lot of fun. And so what we're going to do over the next 5 days is I'm going to share with you what I teach them, what I do for them on my done for you services. You're going to get it all right here. You can get my business in 5 days. You can go compete with me and steal it and all that stuff. So go crazy. As a high level, what we're going to talk about day 1 today is list growth, because none of this idea of making money with an email list makes any sense if you don't have a list to make money with. So we're going to start there. And then tomorrow, we're going to talk about how to write emails, at least the way I do it, because I've found that there's a technique that works for very busy content creators. And of course, it needs to be your voice and your thing. So I'm just going to give you some of my best practices. On Wednesday, we are going to get into what to send on a regular basis that will make you money. How to manage our schedules. I've got some tools and some templates that'll hopefully make it easy for you. So you do more emails in less time. Does that sound all right? And then Thursday and Friday, those are fire hose times. Drink from the fire hose of, I'm going to share with you as many ideas as I can of ways people are making money with email. Okay, so that's kind of the spiel. I will be recording each one of these sessions. It gives me a ton of energy if you are here live, and I promise to bring that value back to you if you are here live, because at the end of each one of these, I will answer your questions, no matter how crazy or inane they are. No, I've never got an inane question, by the way. They're all really good questions. And I'll help it try to cater it to your circumstance and situation. Having done this with so many content creators, I may have seen this movie before, okay? And it usually has a happy ending. So I hope to be able to help you with that. Now, Raptive, they're the superheroes in this story because they're paying for all this. And on top of that, not just paying for my time, they are giving you free goodness if you don't already have it. Some of you already have it, but if you have not yet ever had the chance to sign up for my course, the premium course called Email on Autopilot, you can get it free right now. I'm not going to mention this too many times. So you're going to want to take this coupon code. In fact, I will copy it for you. I will paste it into the chat. Sorry for those that are on the watching the replay. I cannot do that for you. And I'm going to give you these links. So you go get it right now. Somebody go test it, because I have screwed up this link so many times in the past setting up promo codes. This is a $500 course, and I legit charge $500 for it. And Raptive is covering the cost of that for you. Now, do you need this? Aren't we going to cover this over the next 5 days? Well, we can't cover all the details of this because everybody's got different platforms. Everybody's got different things, and in 5 days and 5 hours of a mastermind, I will not be able to get into all the nitty-gritty details of every aspect of it. But we will cover the basics of the course, and then you'll be able to go dive a little bit deeper if you want, or use the course as a refresher. Also, if you've not joined me here, and I think most of you have, but if you haven't yet, please join the Facebook group for those that are on Facebook. I create this as a place that we can ask questions, review each other's homework. Yes, there is homework. And Kevin promises to read and reply to every single comment. Thank you, Kevin. That is very generous of you. But he's good for it. All right, let's get started. I'm sure you've heard this trite cliche before. The money's in the list. And I am going to tell you right now, thank you, Carmen. I'm going to tell you right now that this is more true than ever before. Well, let's see, last summer, boy, it's going on a year now. In anticipation of Google cookies going away, could not anticipate, Google updates like the HCU, or we did know then that AI was going to be changing everything. I put together a series of why you need to build your list now. And the main thing that I put out there was, if I knew that my business was going to change dramatically in the next 6 months, like for good or bad, that my page views might be in question, what would I do? Well, it'll become as no surprise to you that the email guy says that he would build his email list faster, with more vigor and push than ever before. I think that now it's as critical as ever to do this. So with all the worry and freak out, I'm going to share with you why I think it's important briefly, because I think you get this. You're probably here for some of these reasons. First of all, this is something that is said a lot too. And it's not, it's as far as something that you own, you don't actually own this list necessarily, but you have access to this list of people that have raised their hand, at least temporarily, to say, sure, what do you got? Send me stuff. That's different than Lord Google saying, I bless you with ranking for #1 for this or number 25 for that, and hoping that you get traffic. That's different from putting out. I just got off the phone with somebody who has 2 million people on her Instagram following, but she believes that she is in Instagram jail and nobody sees her stuff anymore. 2 million followers. How does that happen? She had, and this is not speculation, she has built a business off of that. And now it is shut down for all intents and purposes. So the ability to send them stuff and say, come look at my stuff is critically important. I also believe that, and this is Matt getting into jerk mode here for a minute. I'll do that from time to time, and I apologize in advance, but I will preface it by saying jerk mode. Congratulations that you ranked #1 for something. Does that mean that you have a brand? And I put myself in that, I include myself in that. All right. What is a brand? Well, that is, are you a subject matter expert that people turn to solve their problems over and over again? Or is our business built off of traffic that keeps coming, no matter what we do, until it stops coming? You are not just whatever your website is, okay? You are much more than that. And your audience needs to understand that. I'm going to spend more time than you probably care on this lecture about how to use email to tell your story and build your brand. Because most people are not using email this way in this space, okay? Most of what we do with email is, I have a new blog post and I am sending it to you. Or I have blog posts from the past and I will send those to you because they seem to be relevant around Thanksgiving time. Now that's good. We need to do those things, 100%. However, there's some nuance to telling your story within that and guiding people where you want them to go and building a brand. We can also use this as a new traffic driver. Many of my clients right now are enjoying sending more emails, being more relevant, and getting more traffic back and getting paid more by Raptive as a result. I will share stats on this later, but there are hard and fast, is that the term? Stone cold facts that you will be paid more on somebody that comes through an email. And it's not just a little more, it's a lot more than somebody who does not. I will be giving you that. And then lastly, as I mentioned, for Thursday and Friday, there are new ways, along with old ways, to make money literally with every email that you send. All right. We're going to talk about a lot of email related things. Some of them are going to be kind of technical. The good news is that most of the stuff that I'm going to be, or the techniques I'm going to be sharing here, will work on most email software platforms. These are the ones that you told me that you have, Flowdesk included. I didn't have it on the slide here. My personal recommendation, you're going to hear me say this a lot. I'm going to talk about ConvertKit because they're my favorite. I'm an unabashed shill. I'm an affiliate. I have been for years. And the reason for that, and I've stopped being shy about this, is that I believe that the best platform for email is the one that you can get to work for you. I was on another platform pulling my hair out, trying to accomplish the things I'm going to teach you. And I have a special affinity for my hair. So I had to switch. And I found after multiple iterations that ConvertKit is the one that's closest. It's not perfect, but it's the one that I can do my program on the best. Affiliate links right there. If you sign up, it's a 30-day free instead of 14 days. You don't even have to put in a credit card. You might want to consider doing that simply if you're like, okay, Matt teaches me this thing and now I got to go figure out how to do it technically. Oh yeah, the exact how to do that thing is in the Email on Autopilot course. Okay, so that's just off of my my shilling. Okay, here we go. Let's talk about list growth. There is a secret, and it is a not very secret to growing your list. You probably are going to recognize the secret when I tell it to you. But to illustrate the point, I want to tell you about my friend Martha. So I've been friends with Martha for a long, long time. I'm over at her house, and we're having a lovely conversation about life and her cat. And she mentions, you know what? I am hungry. I've got a hankering for something special. And there she was. She's just sitting there with her glass of milk. It's obvious what she wanted, isn't it? Go ahead, play along. What was it that she wanted? Any thoughts? Yeah, you're exactly right. She said, some Trinidad macaroni pie sounds absolutely amazing. And I was like, whoa, I want that too. How do we make it? And she says, I have no idea. But fortunately, she had her nondescript, unbranded laptop with her. And so she just typed right into that laptop at this place called Google, Trinidad macaroni pie. Presto, up comes this results. And in 2 places, very high up, Trinidad macaroni pie from Cooking with Ria. Remember that name because I'm not going to. Why? I'm going to click on this. Martha actually clicked on it. She gets the recipe. We make the recipe. We have a deliciously wonderful time. And then after we're like, wow, that was really good. Unexpectedly so. She is a big fan. So what does she do? Does she tell all her friends in that moment? Does she share this recipe on social media? Does she bookmark this? No, Martha bounces. I know, I have not hacked into Cooking with whoever it was to check out her bounce rates, but I've seen a lot of bounce rates. I've seen a lot of Google Analytics reports, and they usually look like this. Yours probably does too. Why? Why doesn't Martha tell the world about the Trinidad macaroni pie and whoever that website was? Because Martha's a jerk. No, Martha's a nice person. She's just busy. She's in that moment. You know, she has to get back to work. Her cat is having a gastrointestinal issue in the corner. I don't know. Whatever it was, Martha she's got to move on because she's in transaction mode. Her transaction with the interwebs is complete. She put in there to Google or Pinterest or ChatGPT, and she got a result back, and she's done. What's she going to do next time she gets a hankering? She's just going to repeat that process. So the not so secret, how do we get Martha to stop in her tracks and sign up for our newsletter, for Cooking with whoever's newsletter? Your existing traffic is your best source of list growth. Martha in that moment wants something. She goes and gets it, and then she's off and on her way. She's not taking any time, and the bounce rates tell us this, she's not taking any time to surf around and learn about more recipes or more articles. That's why things like this don't work. Sign up for my newsletter. Want useful tips and stories and giveaways in your inbox? I'll tell you something, Martha does not want that. Does she need your best recipes weekly? Nope. So how do we do it? How do we actually get Martha? And do we want her? Yes, the answer is yes. Martha's wonderful on our list. We need an email hook. We need a lead magnet. Surprise! You've never heard of a lead magnet before, have you? Well, if you're new to a lead magnet or an email hook, I'm about to share one with you that's going to blow your mind. But I'm going to walk through what I believe makes a good email hook. For those of you who have them, right? You already have one. Somebody out there. What have you out? Down in the chat, let me know. This is a safe space. What do you have? Is it working? I would love to know before I get too far. While you're doing that, I'll tell you what I think makes a good email hook. First of all, it should grab your target reader and ultimately solve a problem. I know that your email hooks are coming there. I'm just waiting for the chat. Oh, there we go. Hundreds of printables. Oh my. All my crafts have a hook. Okay. All right, Kita. Anyway, they should arrive in your inbox instantly and in the process showcase you as a subject matter expert. All right. And Sharon's got a hosting guide that is too in-depth. Clean sheets work. What's a clean sheet? Cheat sheet. I learned to read, Mullen. A cheat sheet. Yeah. Okay, cool. 5-day sensory bin challenge. All right, good. 5 most impactful dietary changes. I love it. Okay, good. I love to see that you have them some that are working. It sounds like some of you have some that are not working as well. Well, there's all sorts of different types. From printables to downloadables to checklists, ebooks, courses, bonus content. You mentioned some of these. What I have found over time is that the problem with most email hooks is that they take time and or money to create. And sometimes they just aren't that effective at attracting people that ultimately become your people. If anybody has done, for those that have done printables, you know what I'm talking about here. You put the printable out, they grab the thing, you never hear from them again. All right. And look, I do checklists and I do the printable. I do all these things. I'm not bagging on them. I'd even do ebooks, and I bag regularly on ebooks. I'm not a big ebook fan. For those of you who have them, if you want to convince me otherwise, the ebooks are awesome, I'm open to it. Nobody's been able to yet. The problem with the ebook is this right here. They take forever to make, or you got to learn Canva yourself. And then you got to make this pretty thing that somebody's going to download, and guess where they're going to get? They're going to get it on their phone. And how usable is an ebook on your phone? Do you remember where it is once it's stored? And then do you actually ever click through on anything that brings them back to the website? That's why I'm not a big ebook fan. You can accomplish the exact same thing in the way I'm just about to tell you this. Now, if you're selling a product, that's different. But for a lead magnet, here's my suggestion. Use what you already have. Use your existing content. The technique that I do to do this is called a quick start guide. By the way, why am I focusing on one out of many possible lead generation tools? Because of this. You can build this now. This is a short series of emails that will just guide your new readers to the most important content on your website or your channel of choice, wherever you want them to go. So back to my Disney example. Back in the day, when we ranked #1 for Disney cruise tips, we had people that were coming. Think about that person for a second. When they land on our Disney cruise tips, and after an appropriate amount of time, a pop-up shows and says what to expect on your first Disney cruise. This thing converts like crazy. Why? Because what do I know about that person that is Googling Disney cruise tips? They are most likely going on a Disney cruise or strongly considering it. And it's probably their first. Otherwise, why do they need tips? So this strikes a little different. Here's what to expect on your first Disney cruise. Notice how that is not sign up for my Disney cruise updates. It's also not learn everything there is to know about my Disney cruise course, or in my Disney cruise course. It's not any of those things. It's solving a simple problem. Here's what to expect. All right, tell me. I'm in. So the idea here is that we get to use your existing content. So what I'd like you to do is I want you to think about this in terms of, well, actually, the rules of the game, because I'm going to give you a homework assignment, is that you don't get to use any new content. You don't create anything new for this. You're going to make a quick start guide with what you have, and I will help you do this. So what we're doing is we create a theme for your guide, all right? And then it's one email, quotes again, lesson per day for 3 to 5 days in a row. All we're doing is that every day we are giving them a topic related to the overall theme of the guide that drives them back to your website or channel of choice. The point is to get them back and clicking. We're putting valuable content in an order that makes sense for your audience, related to what they're interested in, related to what Martha is interested in. Now, why does this work? Well, in my experience, when you're going to go to, if you're considering going to Paris for the first time, you don't need to read the history of Napoleon. You really just want to know where to stay, what attractions to hit, and where can I get some croissant? I have no idea how to say that word. I've never known. But that's all you want to know. When we can simplify the topic for people, we're doing them a huge favor. And as I said, you can use your existing content. But Matt, all my content's already on my website or my channel or my blog. Can't they just find it there? Well, of course they can. But we've already seen with the bounce rates, and you know this through your own behavior, nobody does that. So the idea with driving people to existing content through a quick start guide is to save them time and make it easy for them to find it. You also become a subject matter expert as they're going through this guide. And over time, you're bringing them back to the channel that you choose. So remember Martha, who doesn't know cooking with whoever it was? Does she care about Ria's logo or URL or any of that stuff? She won't even recognize it when she goes back again because she did the jump to recipe thing. But instead, if she starts receiving awesome emails from Ria, we can train Martha that Ria's stuff is fantastic. Okay. Yeah, so solve your reader's problem by helping her make sense of something new. 1 email lesson per day for 3 to 5 days in a row. Now, how would you select your topic? I'm going to give you a formula to do this. I hope you'll jot this down somewhere because I hope you don't jot this down somewhere because this is my whole business, all right? I'm going to give you my business model in the next 2 slides, 3 slides, all right? First of all, we remember this principle that your existing traffic is your best source of list growth. Understanding that, then we ask ourselves, what problem can I solve next? So, what's your biggest channel? Is it your website? Is it YouTube? Is it Instagram? What is it? And then there, what are people clicking on? How are they getting to you? Not what did they used to in 2020. Today, what are people clicking on to get to your website? Meaning, are they searching on Pinterest for a particular search term, and then that brings them to you? Or Google is a great example there. Or are they in a Facebook group about gluten-free recipes, and they click on that, and that brings them there? Why are they there? This is in bold and italics for a reason. You got to think about their motivation. This has nothing to do with you and I. This has everything to do with Martha. What's the core of her problem? And then what can we offer to help solve it? Okay. Let me give you some examples of some quick start guides that I have seen or helped put together over time. All right. You're going to get a lot of food examples. I've had the privilege of working with a ton of food people. But you will also see how this applies to non-food as well. So hang with me. So Allie from Baking a Moment has 5 secrets for baking impossibly soft cookies. So imagine that you're on a Snickerdoodle post and you see this. Well, what's the motivation? You're into baking, you're into cookies. This might be compelling to figure out how do I get even better cookies. Jansen from Everyday Reading, she is a former librarian. She has a master's in librarian science, and she's been blogging for 15 years about books and kids. And so her passion is to help parents instill a love of reading in their kids. So she created Everyday Reading, and she shares her secrets for doing that. You'll notice this secrets theme here. You don't have to do that. It's a proxy. It's a placeholder. I'll explain that in a second. Jessica had a challenge where she's a DIY blogger and, she's renovating a farmhouse and things like that. So she's got all this random DIY content from fixing a toilet to decorating the foyer. I believe that's also French. And so she put together 5 secrets to transform your home on any budget, because she knows that person is a weekend warrior, is on a budget, and wants to is willing to, to use a hammer and get things done. This worked great during the pandemic. Killer copycat recipes. Was it last January, where we had the egg shortage here in the United States? That was, yes. So my friends at the Happy Chicken Coop, their traffic took off, and they took advantage of that by creating an email series called Raising Healthy Chickens. Again, there's copycat secrets, the Ultimate Spring Recipe Guide, 5 secrets to great Mexican food at home, and blah, 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 blah. Okay, I want to tell you about Ralphie. Lest you think that this is for blog and food bloggers only, Ralphie is a parenting expert who, about 4 years ago, I was working with her. At the time, she had 120,000 Instagram followers and 0 blog presence and 0 newsletter. We created a series called Staying Safe, Why We Yell, Why It Doesn't Work, and What to Do Instead. And as a positive parenting expert, all week long, she did a hashtag no yell week. And as part of that, she promoted this every single day for that whole week. So she shared it on stories. She shared it on her posts. We created a landing page in ConvertKit that I think we spent maybe 2.5 minutes on this thing. You can see. And here are the results. She went from 20,000 subscribers, or from 0 subscribers to 20,000 subscribers in 2-week time. All right. Because, oh, and not just that, these emails were actually getting results. If you know anything about email marketing metrics, these are pretty good. Here's an example of what one of the emails looked like. I picked lesson 2 randomly. Why yelling doesn't work. And by the way, this is wordier than they need to be. Why yelling doesn't work. Let's be clear, it does in the short term. Here's the 3 long-term effects of yelling. 1, 2, 3. At the end of it, for a video on the negative effects of yelling, click the picture. How much time do you think Ralphie spent on selecting that picture? How much time did she spend in Photoshop? Not a lot. Guess where this takes you? I just love this so much. So she shows this on Instagram. She advertises this guide on Instagram. An Instagram follower gives her email. She then sends an email that brings her right back to Instagram to a highlighted story that has been there the whole time. Here's an example of a recent one that I did with a client called 30-Minute Keto Recipes for somebody who's asking about a food blog. Hi, Matt. Welcome to day 1 of 30-minute keto meals. Did someone say keto and quick? Look at these wonders. They're my lifesavers on a busy day. My fastest and best keto recipes. And then I had to break this up, but as you can see, it's a roundup of 5 recipes. Because what does somebody who's Googling a keto recipe want anyway? They just want to be inspired. They want to know what to make, especially if you're doing keto. A lot of times it's your first time and you're like, man, how do I actually, survive this keto diet? Well, you make these walnut cookies, apparently, right? All those recipes were already on Sugar Free Londoner's site. She's just giving this to them as, here's what I suggest, as a subject matter who loves and cares about you. Okay? Is anybody, the light bulb going on? Are we getting this? By the way I write these emails, a couple of key things to remember. People don't read emails. They skim. You don't have to write the next John Grisham novel in your emails. It's not that fancy. Remember, Martha doesn't know you yet. She doesn't care yet. What will make Martha care is solving her next problem. So I tend to lean towards skimmability and get them to their answers. Now, I am going to spend more time on branding, on how does Sugar Free Londoner stand out and things like that. I'm going to spend time on that, trust me. But think quick, think what's the next step for Martha and what does she really want? Because it's all about these micro interactions that lead Sugar Free Londoner from a Google transaction becoming a brand that is reliable and helpful and inspirational to Martha. Does anybody come up with any quick start ideas as we've been talking? For those of you who have one, by the way, or have done them in the past, I encourage you, I exhort you to realize that that one is probably outdated and it's time to do a new one. Or if it's working great, you still have another segment of your audience, because we're going to talk about audience segmentations where we can do better. So Kylie's got 30-minute meals. Excellent. Are you putting this pop-up on your most popular page? I am putting it everywhere that it makes sense, Margaret. That is a fantastic question. And I'll talk about pop-ups on Wednesday in great detail. I know that there's some concern about, are they Google friendly? Are you going to get penalized? What about the user experience? How do we, isn't it annoying? And the answer is, I can teach you how to take care of all of that. All right. So for now, just focus on this. Yes, the answer is I put a pop-up everywhere that it makes sense to do so. I feel like people are doing this now and people are just not getting into a ton of emails from blogs. I've had this set up and my answer, okay, Julia, so it sounds like it's not working for you. Am I reading that right? Because I am here to help you bust through it, because it is reason that you're seeing it out there a lot is because it works fantastic if we can tap into the right audience. The challenge is, what does Martha care about? And are we dangling that carrot? How to build the best holiday cookie plate. Okay, good. That'll be good at a certain time of year. Party capsule guide. Party capsule idea. All right. Grew me 10,000 in a week and then removed it to keep it fresh. I don't understand what that means. All right. So who's stuck? Let's start with Julia. If you're okay with it, Julia. I don't mean to put you on the spot. I really don't. I'm offering, by the way, this offer stands for everybody. I am giving away quick start guide ideas today. Free. I guess Raptive is paying for that. All right. Okay. Julia, will you unmute? Or can you? All right, we'll come back to you. Kita, can you unmute?
I'm not muted anymore.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Yeah.
Julia, what is your website?
It's Cuckoo for Design.
Cuckoo for Design.
Yeah, I can drop a link.
All right, and let's go through this. There we go. Cool. What's bringing you traffic right now?
Cats and DIY projects.
It's a little random.
Yeah, I have it set, like some of them are cat DIY projects, and I have like the hooks for the cats, and then I have the hooks for the DIY stuff too.
Okay, so you mentioned that somebody is coming for cats, and you have a hook already. Remind me what the hook is.
If you click on on that cat bed right there, it should come. It's like 5 amazing cat projects.
Okay. So your audience, they care about crafting related to cats. Is that right?
Not just cats, yeah. But I mean, I did cat projects too.
Okay, but that's what you're ranking for. Can you tell me a little bit more specifically what the Google search engine is that, or the search query is that's bringing you traffic?
This is like a macrame cat bed, and
Okay.
then like I have cat enclosures, blog posts, and so they're like in those projects, like the cat bed, then the cat enclosures. I don't know why the pop-up's not coming up. Should be coming up.
Maybe that's not why you're not getting subscribers.
No, I just checked it the other day and it was coming up. That's weird.
Oh, cool. Okay, well, let's talk about the opt-in anyway. So
okay,
if you're ranking for craft projects for cat owners, does that sound right?
Yeah. Okay, no, yeah, I guess not. It's also advice for about cats and like
okay, well, those are two very different things. So you have content that's ranking that is advice for cats?
Yeah, about cat ownership.
Okay, where's that?
It's under here, pets. If you up here at the yes. And
so
then there
within your top 10 posts for the last 90 days, you're getting traffic for advice for cats. Is that right?
Mostly the cat bed and the cat enclosure, and then like it's the ones that you saw on my main page. Those a lot of them are my best performing, like blog posts, the stock tank pool, the cat bed, the landing page.
Okay, so I'm asking that question in kind of a probing fashion because that's super important.
Yeah.
Because we can't make assumptions based off of the content on your blog. That's actually completely irrelevant.
Yes.
For Martha's purposes. For Martha, who just Googled something, she's landing here. She doesn't understand what the cuckoo clock has to do with anything, who Cuckoo for Design is. She doesn't need to remember that in the future, right? She doesn't care. So she Googles, let's go with the macro, just for the sake of example. She Googles the macrame cat bed. So we know that she has a cat, right? And she's at least into crafts. And she loves her cat. Because why does somebody want to make a I shouldn't assume. You tell me. Why does somebody want to make a macrame cat bed?
Yeah, like you said, they love their cat and they like crafting and making things. And
Okay. So what holds them back from doing that?
because they think it's too difficult.
Okay. So it's difficult. They're probably busy people.
Yeah.
They, it's not that it's a kind of a whim thing. Like, maybe I got on this bent and I was going to, craft for a little bit and I was going to try this out. It's my experience with folks that are interested in crafting is that they love crafting. It's part of what they do and they'd love to do more of it, but the things that keep them from it are budget, skill level, and time. Do you think that's fair?
Yeah.
Okay. So what type of thing could we offer them that solves those issues?
um, that's where I'm stuck. I don't know.
So that's where this is the $100 million question, I suppose. And the other piece of this too is how much does the cat part matter? Like how many projects will I make for my cat? So example, I had a client that ranked for pie, like had just all this traffic for pie. And so we put together 5 secrets to making the perfect pie or something like that. And nobody signed up. And I was like, why? It's so on point with this traffic that's coming in. It was going against what I teach and what I know. And so then I started thinking about it. How often does somebody actually make pie? Like once or twice a year? And it's for a special occasion. But what do I know about the person who's baking a pie? They could have gone to Costco and bought the pie. They could have gone to the store, but yet they were interested in baking it themselves. So we pivoted and we went into, the interest related to just baking in general. And that thing took off. So that's why I'm kind of wondering about this. I don't have an answer here, Julia. This is how I'm thinking it through, is like, what's the important part here? Is it that these people wanted to make something for their cat, and that's so important to them that they want a whole bunch of cat projects? Or is it that they want easy, quick projects that they can do in a weekend that satisfies their crafting itch? I'm not sure I know. Or could it be beginners? Do any of those make sense to you?
What, beginners, you mean?
Well, any of those things I just talked about.
Yeah, I don't know. Just like this one, because it is not like the easiest project, I would say. Like maybe that's I don't know.
Macrame is not easy, right?
Oh no, it is.
Oh, it
So
is.
people
Okay.
think it's harder than it's not really that hard.
Do you have projects that would cater to a crafter that are simple to do?
Yeah, I do.
And do you have projects that are popular and can be done in a short period of time?
Yeah, like when you like if you look up there, there's some like the earrings there or like that garland, like the smaller ones. But like I always felt like it was not to just niche down onto just macrame. Like I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, what I was thinking here is I wonder if something along the lines of 5 days of 30-minute miracle crafts, or something about 30 minutes or less, or maybe that's 30 minutes is ambitious. But the gist of that is, let me inspire you with super popular projects that can be done super quick, that look fantastic.
That's that for the other hook. I have like the 5 tips for updating that what you see right here for the home on a budget, because we live in a small home and that was always my thing. It's a small starter home and we just and I try to make it as cheap as possible, like probably most of every other blog too. So that's like not special anymore.
Well, I think if I'm a crafter,
I've been doing this for such a long time, like since for over 10 years, and my email list just never gotten really great ever.
So the craft people are different than the home people, and the home people might be different from the cat people.
Yeah,
and understanding their different motivations, just like I had to do with the Disney cruise people. You might have to create different lead magnets. And what I want to do is figure out how to, and we may not have this right. 5 days of 30-minute miracle crafts may not be right either. But
Yeah.
I would still come up with and put that out there, bang these out quick, do more of them, iterate faster, and figure out which ones of these resonate, like I had to do with the pie, resonate with the audience. And if it's not resonating, then meaning a high conversion rate, then we switch to something else.
Yeah.
All right. Hopefully it gives you some ideas of things to, wow, the comments, you guys are awesome. All right, who is next? Kita?
Hello, hello.
Hello. What's your
Oh, I
website?
gotta mute that one. Hold
What's
on.
your website, Kita? What's your website, Kita?
Girlcarnivore.com.
Okay. Well, what are you leaning towards? Have we inspired any ideas for you?
I overthink this step. I've been chronically overthinking this step for I've had your course for years and I chronically overthink this step. I have a lead magnet right there on the homepage. It is overthought and way too complicated. So I need to think simpler, just like Julia was just now, thinking simpler. Obviously, my website's about meat.
I did get that. So let's do vegan recipes.
Right? April Fool's is the goal. You have no idea.
What's bringing in the most traffic for you?
So because Wrap is paying for this, I decided to use their dashboard while you guys were talking and pull up my top 10 posts.
Okay.
So I can see right now that, smoker, meat, smoker, grilling, smoker are all in the top 5.
All right.
Well, actually top 10. So I feel like we're getting ready for grill season.
Okay. Now, do you have in your WordPress, do you have things categorized by smoker and grilling?
I do.
Okay. All right. What is specifically the number 1 and 2? And let's go fast. The number 1 and 2 smoker articles that people are landing on.
Smoked pork butt, smoked chicken thighs.
Okay. What do they want? Why is somebody Googling smoked pork butt, I can't even say it, and chicken thighs?
It's like s'mores with pork. They clearly want a recipe. They want to make smoked pork butt and they want to make it right now.
Okay. Are those complicated?
Nope.
Are those out of the, it's not like they're doing chicken gizzards or something.
Nope.
Okay. So everybody wants these.
So they're easy smoker recipes.
Do you have other easy smoker recipes?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have easy for pork?
Yes.
And chicken?
Yep.
And beef?
Yeah.
And cream cheese?
Actually, yes.
Okay. So where I'm going with this is something along the lines of 5 days or 5 secrets to easy smoker grilling. If you want to get, or whatever the words are, smoking. If you want to get into summer, that's probably what I would lean towards, since you mentioned summer. 5 days of perfect summer smoking. My easiest, fastest, most beloved recipes. Day 1. Hi, Matt. Welcome to whatever I just said the title was. So summer has arrived and it's smoker season. Smoker season doesn't start until we knock out these, my most popular smoker recipes of all time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hi, Matt. Welcome to day 2 of insert title here. The most common thing people love to smoke, because everybody's got it, is chicken. That's why I'm sharing with you my 5 favorite smoker chicken recipes for summer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Would that work?
I can do it.
Okay. All right. Well, that was easy. Now,
that was easy.
What you can do with that is that you can do the same thing for grilling, and the Ninja whatever grill thingy, and the pellet grill, and but whoever, right? Whatever. And then the point is that you can create these by different category as you build these out and become more and more relevant, and get better and better engagement as you do.
Okay.
Awesome. Learn to smoke everything in 5 days. People are giving great ideas in here. All right. Other questions? Sorry, I haven't caught up with all the comments. Is anybody else stuck? I've got time to do. By the way, I will do as many as you want. If you stick around, I will do this. We'll officially end at the top of the hour, but I will stick around with you if you're stuck. I don't want you to leave. Megan, talk to me. What's your website, Megan? Or what's your channel of choice? All right.
Megan is off the grid.
Off the grid.
Like that.
Off the grid. .com, like that. Is this it? Fresh off the grid, sorry. All right, Megan, work on that mic situation. If you can talk, it'll be much easier. Nisha, do you want let's chat while she's doing that? I know yours works.
Hi.
Hey, all right, what's your website?
So I did some weird stuff. It's cookingforpeanuts.com. So this is a little bizarre, but if you go to shop, okay, so if you go down, even though it's free, if you keep going, that email series, what I did is I created that and I put it on Instagram as a reel
Uh-huh.
and as a story, and I got so many subscribers.
Love it.
But I never actually put it on my website as the subscribe or anything. I have some boring like freebie thing because I don't know. I just sort of did it on a whim and I wrote the email. So I have the series, but I just didn't leave it like as the main thing on my site because I just was thinking, oh, I can keep growing like this if I just keep creating these crazy things. Because I grew like a lot, like 20,000 from it. So then I was like, why don't I just keep doing these things? But it requires like a lot of thought from me. Like it's my expertise, right? Of
Yeah.
these.
Well,
So I was thinking like, could I just create, because if you go to my regular sites, my main page that I get the most traffic is my home page actually, because it's mostly from social, right? So if
Okay.
you go down, there is a subscribe thing somewhere, but it's not
yeah,
like,
that's fine.
so I was thinking like, could I create, I think people are really interested in like a meal plan approach. And I'm wondering if I could just make the effort to do a weekly, like I think if I do a forever series of meal plans and with a grocery list that links to the recipes on my blog, that could be a good idea for me. And
Yeah.
what's the like 5 health reasons I chose them or something, because I'm very health focused.
Love it. Okay, that sounds
That
great.
work? It
Yeah.
requires some work on my part, but I think it could be successful.
So if you want something that does not require any work on your part, then let's make a quick start guide.
Well, I had one because I took your course.
Oh, okay.
And I made a quick start guide. And then I looked a lot at like who unsubscribed. Like I went to the stats a lot and I felt like the quick start guide, because maybe I just didn't do it. It was too maybe detailed or something. I just felt I lost too many people compared to when I didn't have it. Like, and then I realized that is true. So I took it out because it was like 3 emails and I'm like, they're just wasting people's time. I don't think that, I think
can I
that
have you
people,
pause
like,
on that for a second? So you got 10,000 subscribers and then
no,
you
this
got
is from my other thing, the 5, I got
Oh.
20,000 from the dietary changes thing.
Okay.
But I just did it on a whim one day. I was like, oh,
Okay.
I'll just do this.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you've got things well underway. I think your idea is fantastic. Keep it up. I
Okay.
mean, anybody on here would tell you they'll take 10,000 or 20,000 subscribers anytime, you throw that out there.
Right, but
So,
I moved it now. It's not there because I kind of didn't want it to get stale. Like this idea of like, I feel, is it weird to do spurts of these things?
well, so the idea is a new subscriber is coming right now. Martha hits a website at different times. She hits your social at different times. So if you're not showing it now, the Martha that's coming right now has no ability to sign up. Is not
Yeah,
going
so
to
how
sign
would
up.
I show it on this? Where's the best place?
A pop-up.
But they don't hurt you. Like I keep getting told by Casey not to put pop-ups.
I know what Casey says. We'll talk all about that on Wednesday.
But that's my problem here. where I
Okay,
haven't
so
been-
hang till Wednesday and we'll go through that.
Okay.
Because that's a longer conversation.
Okay.
But I love what you're doing. I love the results that you're getting. The point that I'm trying to make is that, so
I'm
what you're
missing
doing
a
is
lot of people, I think.
you're missing out on people right now.
Yeah.
And what we're going to talk about on Wednesday as well is what to send them on an ongoing basis. So once they're on the list, it won't go stale because
Yeah, I
so
want
that's
to
what we're
keep
going to
them very
cover.
engaged.
That's
is the
right.
problem.
Exactly. So I totally get that. All right. Megan, did we get you sorted out?
Yes, I think so.
All right.
Me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
All
Yeah,
right.
so my site's fresh off the grid. And I have things percolating now, but I think that my big block when I'm trying to come up with what people need is I'm looking at my top 10 posts and I cover food in the outdoors. But there's a lot of different kind of elements to that. So there's camping, there's backpacking. I do a lot of dehydrating stuff for hiking and backpacking. And so I don't know, campfire cooking. I don't know how to tie that all together because it's kind of all over the place, and people who go car camping don't necessarily care about backpacking food and vice versa.
So my advice, and this comes up all the time, so is you don't try to tie those together. You
Okay.
serve the people that you can serve with the stuff that helps them. In the case of Disney Cruise, I always have a similar problem. Disney Cruise versus Mickey Mouse coloring pages. You see the difference there? That, somebody who's not necessarily getting a coloring page needs to spend $10,000 on Disney Cruise. So
Right.
I have the same issue. So what I'm going to tell you is we're going to use segmentation, both in the case of, on anything that's labeled, like in the case of who was it? Was it Kita? In the case of the smoker versus grill versus microwave, we show them stuff related to them. We show a different pop-up. We show different forms embedded. We get people to sign up. We know that they came in through camping, bingo. Now what we can do is we can turn around and we can serve them with emails in ways I'm going to share with you on Wednesday that you could put on autopilot, where you will be able to serve those people on an ongoing basis, and they will love it. And you'll have to write these things one time, and you can set them and off they go. That's what I did with the Disney Cruise example, and had massive engagement and really serve those people all the way up till they go on their Disney Cruise. So in your case, what is the #1 category for you?
Camping food.
Okay.
Like car camping food recipes.
All right. 5 days of the most of this year's top camping recipes or something like that. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the camping food part has always been easy for me because I have such a robust library to pull from for future emails. It's like, the backpacking food, I have, some, but I feel like I wouldn't be able to continue doing, weekly emails throughout the whole year based on the existing content.
But that's not a reason to not serve them. In the case of Disney Cruise, like I can't, or somebody going to Paris, like if Will is working on somebody that's going to Paris, how long does he get to keep emailing them? Their trip ends at some point. So we do have to figure that out. We'll spend some time talking about that, but you have no chance to talk to them if they don't sign up to begin with. So overthinking it a little bit is pretty common in this space. I do it all the time. It's like, let me get them on to what do I know about them? Well, they're into camping. Great. How do I cross promote my other stuff? I don't know. We'll work on that. Or if they're coming into hiking, or they're coming into something that's a little bit more niche and I don't have the content on it, my choices are to build more content, right? But can I serve them for 5 weeks after they sign up for the Quick Start Guide? That's still 5 weeks more of clicks and opens, and you establishing yourself as a subject matter expert that you did not have before.
Okay.
So
yeah,
I guess
I would love to. I'm looking forward to hearing more of that, because I've had these opt-ins. You can see I have this free checklist and like other things, and so I have a pretty substantial list at this point, and I just get stuck on also like, well, what do I keep sending them without?
Right. That makes perfect sense.
But
yeah. I would still encourage you, especially with what Raptive is telling us about how much more an email subscriber pays. Keep growing the list big. Get those clicks. If nothing else, everybody, we'll talk about this in more detail about the newsletter ID from Raptive, but you want the clicks right from the get-go at the very beginning. So Kylie's bringing up a good point. I will be explaining how you can create different quick start guides and showing them on different categories. Like in the case of Megan here, she may not want to show the Camping 101 lead magnet to the people who are in the backpacking or in hiking. Because we know they're into hiking, we may want to show them something different. You can do that through, there's, depending on your platform, through WordPress categories. And in the case of ConvertKit, for example, there's a plugin that will connect and show different things depending on your category. And so that makes it real simple. And your conversion rates go up because you are being more relevant to the people that are coming in. So I hope that makes sense. I'm going to pause for a second as I do the official wrap up. And stick around, and I'll still talk through, as long as you want, I'll talk through your individual circumstance. I want you to walk away from here with a quick start guide you can go make. Even if you've done it before, You can make a simpler one, easier one, more relevant one based on seasonality or topic. Homework assignment, woo, skip all these slides. Select 3 to 5 articles related to your theme. Write a catchy title. And then in the spirit, in the way that I showed you in this with the keto example, write these in a Google Doc. By putting them in a Google Doc, I'll be able to review them with you tomorrow and give you advice on how would I, position these and relate these. And then I'll help you get feedback. We'll all share on Facebook and give each other feedback. Okay. If you want to know how to get going with this specifically inside ConvertKit, if you have ConvertKit or you sign up for ConvertKit, you can watch the lesson, how to set up your quick start guide. The email and autopilot course is half strategy and half how to do that strategy in ConvertKit. So even if you don't use ConvertKit, the other half will still be useful to you. I want to be clear about that. But if you do have ConvertKit, you want to get started with the tech side of it, just go watch that lesson. Okay? All right. For those that still, sorry, I've missed, you guys had great help each other. You're helping each other out with the comments. I'm a little behind on all the comments. So I'm going to go with the questions that are most recent here and then make sure I cover it. All right. But if you got to get, I will see you tomorrow when we'll go through the writing of those emails and I'll give you my feedback on yours. All right. Thanks. Margaret says, my main question is, should I make the quick start guide only related on my most popular post? Margaret, what's your most popular post?
It's about strengths and weaknesses on my blog for kids.
Is there other content that's related to that?
Yes.
Can you give me a broad category of that content?
Well, I have several other posts that are actually related to child strengths in certain areas, emotional strengths, behavioral strengths.
Okay.
And the most popular post is related to writing an individualized education plan for special education students.
Okay. So this is a little bit about assessing their strengths. Is that what you're getting at?
Yes.
So if you had something, I don't know your stuff. I'm going off with the only things you've just told me is, but something along the lines of 5 steps to identifying your child's strengths and unlocking potential or something like that.
Yes, I can think of an idea of how to write it and what to include, but because my main question is, am I only putting that pop-up on that page?
Do you have anything else anywhere else?
Hundreds of sign-up forms.
Okay, then
I have very targeted like free printables, and that page has a free sign-up form, and I have one pop-up that runs across the whole site.
Yeah.
But then that's the only one pop-up I have. Every other form is embedded.
Okay.
So would you make a pop-up for this page specifically?
I would, if I don't have a pop-up the rest of the site wide and the pop-up is thematically appropriate, like anywhere close to thematically appropriate, I'd run it site wide and see what happens. Because your other opt-ins are not diminished by the pop-up. The pop-up just happens once, they move on past it. Your conversion
No,
rates are
I do have one pop-up running site wide.
Is it working?
But it's not related to, yes, it's not related to strengths and weaknesses though.
Do you
it's a
think
brain
this would
break.
outperform it?
I don't know, because that one post performs really well and people stay on that page for it's my longest engagement time too.
What I might consider is a trial. So first of all, make it, because if you have that series and it only serves this really popular post, it was not time wasted. You could still then turn it on for a little while, a couple of weeks or whatever, and see how does it do site-wide, just to find out. Or
Okay.
in a category specific. It doesn't, I guess it hurts you if it doesn't hurt you that much, because the conversion rates are probably going to be very similar.
All right.
so
I think
it's
I'll
worth
try it
giving
based on your
try.
answer. I'll try it site wide to start.
Yeah.
I've had the other one running for a long time. I might as well mix it up anyway.
Carmen, I want to convince you to not do an ebook. Can I convince you? All right. What is are you stuck on an idea, or can I help you?
Yeah, so I've never had a freebie. My site's really, it's very new. It's a year old. So
Okay.
yeah, so that's why I'm here. Because
What's your website?
eatwithcarmen.com.
And are you getting traffic to anything right now?
Yeah, lots.
To what?
Yeah, about 500 like traffic page views.
What are they going to?
They're going to my most popular ones. Well, I have an Asian theme, like caramelized onion pasta is very popular. I have my first pop-up, but it's very boring. It's basic. But yeah. So
Okay.
my idea was 8 recipes, 8 ingredients or less, because that's what I'm really known for. I do really, really easy recipes. I teach people how to make Asian food with
Uh-huh.
like in 30 minutes.
What if you did something about those 30 minutes? You know, 5 days of the easiest 30-minute meals, or 30-minute Asian recipes, or 8 ingredients or less.
Yeah.
5 days of my fastest Asian recipes.
Do I send them one per day just to keep them?
That's up to you.
up?
You saw how I did the roundup style there?
Yeah, I like the roundup
So
style.
you probably have enough recipes where you could do, today, let's talk about pastas.
Yeah.
Day 2, let's talk about soups. And day 3, let's talk about casseroles, whatever yet, right? Because the thing with, especially with food, the reason I like roundups there is that we have different tastes, right? You may like, I may like chocolate chip cookies and you may like oatmeal raisin cookies. You would be wrong, but if we show that in a list, you have a better chance of you liking, one or more of those. The problem that we're solving there is cookies.
Okay. So no ebooks, no printables, roundup posts.
You don't need it. You need it. Margaret will tell you that once you get a system for making printables and banging those out, it's not so challenging, but you first have to do that. I'm talking about writing 5 emails, right? I mean, you can write 5 emails. You don't need any tech. You don't need to learn how to do anything with PDFs. You don't need to learn about the deliverability of all that. So for the simplest, let's go kind of thing, that'd be my suggestion.
I love that for me. So thank you. Thank you.
All right, cool. I really think it's help my brand, but I already have a 10-day welcome sequence. Jeannie, great question. Will you unmute? Maybe not. Can't get her to do it. She's looking for the buttons. Where are those buttons? All right. Anybody else stuck?
I got it. Sorry.
All right. You got it. Okay. So this 10-day welcome sequence, is that attracting subscribers?
So everyone is a free, like a craft template.
Okay.
So yes, that's where I get all my leads, and it runs straight to like a sales. Like I sell products. So it's basically a funnel that's just like, hi, introduce myself, all this stuff, give them free stuff, and then I hit them at the end with like a kind of a sales sequence.
Okay. Probably
But
not.
this would be
If your lead magnets are working, which is the main question here. That's what we're talking about today. It's the lead magnets. If they're working, you can drop them into wherever you want. And if you're dropping them into a welcome sequence that is also converting, then I would not suggest changing those. What I might try, in the spirit of what Margaret was just talking about, is there a quick start guide concept that is a little bit more of an overriding thing that you could try in addition to the printables on each craft or post that you have?
Yeah, for sure. So like I have a roundup post that no one goes to, and it's all about like tips for crafting. And it's kind of like my brand, and people who stumble in there love it. And I try to put it out there, but I guess people just don't want to read this like giant email with all these tips.
Well, but that's not how they get there. It's through Google or Pinterest or whatever. So they're not looking for that. So well, could you take that and then create an email series a la the quick start guide?
Yeah,
just convert
absolutely.
that content. Boom.
But, and then but should I send, so my question is, do I send that to all my current subscribers? Like as a little extra?
What I would probably do there,
again?
What I would probably do there is say, hey, everybody, I made this new resource for you. It's 5 secrets to being as awesome a crafter as I am. It's an email series where you'll get 5 bonus emails on top of everything else I send you. If you would like to opt into this special guide, click here. And then depending on your email program like ConvertKit creates a link trigger, it'll automatically add them into that sequence. I would just basically promote it like, I made an awesome thing and you can have it if you want.
And then do you use that to sell anything, or no, don't at this time? Just use it as a, like, just boosting your brand.
I do not mind selling at the end of it. Just recognize that you won't sell very many of anything. The reason for that is that it's the first touch point. They Googled whatever your thing is, they land on your website, they sign up for your quick start guide. They're just learning. They're kind of getting used to, like I travel to Europe. I've I've bought Rick Steves' books, but I watched a whole heck of a lot of his free videos and consumed his free content
Right.
before I ever bought a book. So, but it does tell them that, hey, I'm Jeannie. I'm a subject matter expert, and I have these other products that will help you. If you like the free stuff, you're going to love the paid stuff. So that's what
Right.
the spirit of what it conveys. So that later on, when you promote that as well, it's not the first time they've ever heard that you have things for sale.
Right. Okay,
But give them a ton of value up front. Those first 5 days are just free. And by the way, if you want.
right. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much. I've
Okay.
never done this before.
Love it. I can't wait to see how it goes. Shauna?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Me too.
Hello.
You have to do that.
Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry, I got the thing open, but then there's no face. I don't know what's happening.
That's all right.
It's not. Okay, sorry. I actually was trying to like show my face at this point.
You did
Okay,
it.
so yeah, okay, so Mike, it's kind of like, okay, so we don't have anything other than a pop-up right now, but we were going to do the email. I'm sorry, we were going to do the ebook, right? So now you're saying don't do the ebook. So then we wrote down like what we think we're going to implement based on what you said today. But my question was more like, should we not even try to sell ebooks or have downloads? Because the only thing that we have been doing is we had downloads and those were converting really, really well. So I was a little bit like, do we ever do an ebook? Do we just scratch doing ebooks?
Those
Don't
are
use
totally
that.
totally different things.
Yeah.
I understand where you're coming from on the
Yeah,
question.
yeah.
If you can, and lots of people on this mastermind have and are selling ebooks. Stacy, it sounded like Nisha was. They are products that you can sell. I like them better for a selling product than I do from a lead magnet, because the point of the lead magnet is to get, as I see it,
Yes.
is to get them to come back to my website, and I have an excuse to email them 5 days in a row.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. No, I totally got that from this. I
Okay.
was like, okay, so I just wasn't sure
So
about
don't table
doing-
your products plan.
Okay. Okay.
Just-
And then okay, so use that as a thing later that,
Sure.
okay. And then what about the downloads that we were doing? Because those were converting.
Change nothing. If it's working, I'm not suggesting that you break, something that isn't broken.
Right. Well, we definitely need to do this because we don't have this at all. Like
Yeah.
what we've just talked about today.
Cool. Yeah. No, please, by the way, anybody who's still listening, if something's working, I'm not saying you need to fix it, but most people that I talk to could do better.
Right,
Even
of
those
course.
that have something that's converting really, really well, even if you changed it to, I'm making something up, you changed it to a Memorial Day theme, it will probably, for that week, it will convert better. When you change and you go a little bit deeper into a topic, let's say you're a recipe blogger and you just have never tapped into slow cooker. People who have slow cooker, they love it. Their device is different. And so you can take your existing thing and you can make, summer treats for slow cooker. You can make a separate version just for that, and that will actually increase your conversion rate because it's more relevant. So I'm not saying to break anything that you've already got. I'm just asking the question, can we enhance it a little bit? And if so, will this process of just banging out 5 quick emails and dangling a pop-up that says sign up for this, will that take care of it? Yeah, it can.
Yeah, no, I'm excited because we were in the process of getting that done and we didn't really know the roadmap. So now I feel like we know exactly what to
Sweet.
do on that. The only thing I wasn't clear when you were talking to the last person was when you were talking about putting a pop-up on a specific page, like that, I was like, okay, I have a pop-up that's general for the whole site. So I wasn't sure, like maybe
What's
you're
your
going to
email
dive
platform?
in. ConvertKit.
Okay, so ConvertKit has a WordPress plugin. In that plugin, it allows you to go to site-wide, category, page or post level, and show different things depending on what you want to have happen. So for example, which this is a true story, I've got the Disney Cruise section of my website. So a pop-up could show that what to expect on your first Disney cruise to all of the Disney cruisers only on those posts. I also have a Disney Cruise packing list. It's inside the Disney Cruise category. I want to show a pop-up for the packing list on that post. So I use the WordPress plugin. It's down and I can just toggle it so it skips over the default and it shows the desired pop-up for the desired post. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
it's all
And
about relevance. It'll
yes.
increase your conversion rate.
Yeah, no, it totally makes sense. I just didn't, sometimes I get not techie and I didn't realize that you could actually do what you said. And I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. So is that the video that you left us to watch in ConvertKit? Is that show us how to do
No,
all of that?
that's not that. That's basic forms and sequences, which you already probably know how to do. But there is a video
Not so
in
much.
ConvertKit. Well, then yes, go watch that video.
Yeah.
And then you'll find an additional resource in there about how to set up a pop-up in ConvertKit. And you'll see it's
Okay.
called the one that I use is called Poplar, like the tree, Poplar. And so you
Okay.
just look for that inside the course and that should help you.
Oh, thank you so much. That helped
Go get
clarify
'em.
everything.
Yeah.
Thank you. See you
All right.
tomorrow.
Anybody else stuck or have a question?
I have a question. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, hi. I put it a little bit up in the chat. I was like in the process of making I mean, I guess it's technically an ebook, like subscribe to get this healthy 5-day meal plan kind of thing. But then obviously after this, I'm like, okay, scratch that. I've had a quick start guide on like quick healthy lunches that didn't like it just didn't really kill it. So I guess I'm in a place where I feel like I should just turn the like 5-day meal plan content into a quick start guide.
No, you're picking that content for a reason. Going back to this slide here, I assume that you're thinking it through in terms of this checklist. Is that why you're picking healthy meal plan content as their hook?
I've just kind of struggled with like, I don't know, I guess I feel like people want that content.
Okay, let's not go off of feelings. Let's go off of data. What are your page views? I mean, what are people visiting right now?
I mean, right now my biggest one is like my healthy carrot cake, but that's obviously seasonal and Discover picked it up. Like I have a vegetable soup recipe that's really popular, vegan lasagna, a broccoli salad.
Okay, pause for a second. Are they Googling specifically vegan something something? Or does it happen to be vegan?
I mean, a couple of them are specifically vegan, but it's more like a health focus versus like, I don't want to lean too hard into vegan.
Okay, good. That's good to know. The reason I asked that question is I want to know specifically what are the search terms, because that tells me their motivation, right? If they don't put the word vegan in there and it just happens to be, it's a vegan recipe, then I am not leaning into vegan at all as a lead magnet. However, if you're all about vegetarian or healthy vegetarian meals or something like that, then that might be the place to go. It sounded like the meal plan is not a terrible idea, given the types of content that people are Googling or coming to Discover or Pinterest or whatever, right?
Yeah, it's like a couple of my best recipes like I mean, they're definitely like vegan search queries, but yeah, I don't like
what's your website?
Homo sapien.
That's awesome.
HUM. Sorry, I think you have 2 S's, just 1 S.
Sapien, like that.
Yep, you got it.
Google will help me find it. Okay. That's awesome. So why don't people eat healthier?
They don't know how to cook it. They don't want to spend the time.
I think it's the time.
Yeah.
Because they get into a rut or they're busy because as far as don't know how to cook it, they can Google any recipe out there.
Right.
And they did that. They came to you. So it's probably not that as much as maybe what's the next problem you can solve for them. The meal plan helps them get organized. That's a great idea. I'm affirming where you're going. I also might consider the most basic, it's not the dumbest at all, the most basic though of problems that we can solve. No time to eat healthy. I got you. 5 secrets to the fastest, healthiest meals. 5 secrets to 15-minute healthy meals. 15 minutes or less, 15-minute miracles.
What if they're not 15 minutes? I wish they were 15 minutes.
Well, you know what I mean.
I think I know. Yeah. I definitely feel like leaning into the time would be smart. I guess I feel like what sets me apart is that I'm a dietitian. I have a restaurant. I feel like the recipes are very flavorful, which sounds like, okay, everyone's recipes. Like, I feel like I struggle with like, how do I to set myself apart in the sea of like a billion healthy food bloggers, I guess. So I'm trying to.
I understand that concern. Your problem is that Martha doesn't care about that yet.
Right.
We go to what Martha cares about. And the only way you know that is through the traffic behavior. And so you can tell that story once they're in. Imagine a form that never gets filled out. You have no chance to tell a story. So we just need that form filled out. So they get onto the list, and then we can send them whatever we want. If you want to say, hey, as promised, here's my 3 fastest recipes. Oh, by the way, here's what I know about. I'm a dietitian and I've written books and I climbed Mount Everest, and you know, whatever you want to say, you can say. But I'm just talking about getting them on the list.
Okay. So if my recipes are like a normal amount of time, not 15 minutes, do you feel like it's enough to like?
You still have faster and not faster, right? This is just marketing. This is a magazine headline. This is all we're talking about here. You're promising them that they can. So let's say, imagine you were doing a TED Talk as a registered dietitian who has studied this for years. And you stand up and say, the main reason all of you are not cooking healthier, you want to. It's not so much a will type of thing. Sometimes it's just a know-how. You think it's going to take too long, and the answer is it's not. If you've got 30 minutes and the most basic recipes or most basic ingredients, you can cook healthy. If you have a refrigerator and some Greek yogurt, you can cook healthy. I don't know what you say, but that's the gist of it. And so anybody down there is not going 15 minutes, 25 minutes, 36 minutes. It's just more of, oh yeah, she's solving my problem of I don't think I have the time to cook healthy. Now, I'm acting like I'm really all in on this time thing. I'm not. I'm just giving you an example of pick the problem to solve, and you and I can figure out those words.
Maybe the organization, like I don't know. I think a lot of people are like, I don't know where to start. I'm overwhelmed, so I'm just not going to. So if it's like, is the fact that it's a meal plan that's telling them what to eat, it's like, is that solving the problem?
I think it's worth it. I think it's worth a try for serious people are eating seriously, trying to eat healthy in a serious way. I also, there's part of me who, just because I've seen this so much, where somebody was looking at food porn, or they went to they went to Whole Foods and they thought I should eat better, and then they're like, or the Google Discover shows them something, they're kind of, oh, interesting, right? They're not that committed to eating healthy, but so they do a whole meal plan or a big long course. Is that really going to solve it for them? That feels like a commitment. But if I just like get, inspired with, this is what everybody else is making. Here's the healthy recipes that went viral. I'm making crap up right now, but hopefully.
Oh, that's not a good idea. Like, okay, so maybe meal plan's like not.
It could be, and it might be with your audience. I really don't want to dissuade you from that. I just want you to think at the heart of the Google searcher or the TikTok peruser. What do you offer them in that first moment? They used to have these malls around here in Phoenix, and I would walk and there'd be these cooking stores, and I would really only go in there because they would offer a sample. I didn't need the Le Creuset, but they got me in through the sample. And now I'm browsing around, and then I walk out with the spatula that has, a little squirrel on the end because it's cute. Right? So what is that for you? That really was a dumb metaphor.
Like what gets them in the door?
Yeah, what gets them in the door? That's all.
I mean, I feel like once they try a recipe, they're in the door. But
exactly. So how do we get them to try more recipes? But we're talking about the door is your newsletter.
Right.
All right. I'm gonna jump. If you want to hang, you have more questions, let me know.
Okay.
Kevin, you're hanging around for a little bit?
Yeah. Yes, my main problem is that it's very transactional. So like I was sad about running shoes, and people just come for like basically they want to know like if your shoe is good or not. Like for example, if you take the first one, we just read the review and yeah, buy it or not. But I feel it's hard to kind of like have a series because it's not really about running in general. So there's not anything about training or whatever. It's really about finding the perfect shoe. And I think people like, I get some email regularly about people asking me, okay, I have this kind of profile. What kind of shoes should I buy? So the main problem, I know their problem. The problem is like buying the best shoes for them.
Yeah.
And I feel I could send like a list of like, maybe like, I was just thinking about it, maybe like, yeah, top 5 pick for like road running shoes, for example, and then trail running shoes or like daily trainings kind of things. But I feel it's a bit generic, like depending on what you have. And basically people who just want to know, have a curate selection and say, okay, that's the best. Okay, I'm going to buy it. And they want to have a very simple answer.
Yeah. Yours is, you know, this type of site is a product review site can be challenging that way, especially when I see that it is very narrow and you know, it kind of, I don't want to say shallow content, but once you've got your information, you know, may not need more. However, one thought that I had is that we do know that they are in the process of making a shoe purchase decision. Otherwise, they would not be looking at this. I could see something along the lines of the top 5 trends in road shoes for 2024. You know, things that every buyer must know. I don't know. Or the top 5 brands in road, maybe that's it. Are most, maybe it's the most popular. Maybe it's the promise of a list. In your case, maybe it's not a 5-day series. Maybe it's just a 1 email where it's, you know, it's truly of, all right, we've ranked them for, here is our official ranking of the best road shoes for 2024. We love the whatever, because I see here, by the way, that you've got all these comparisons. We love the Nike Air Zoom Pegasus 40 because it's so lightweight. Here are our 3 favorite lightweight shoes. 1, 2, 3. We love the Hoka because of the cushion. Here are, I'm making stuff up. Could you create with the content you have? Could you just put it into a framework, a mental framework for them that is helpful in purchasing a shoe? Because if you can, you've got something. If not, you're not really building a brand anyway. You're building a, you know, an affiliate site.
Yeah, for sure. And also one thing I can work on a thing is the fact that most people are worried about injuries. So I think you want to find the perfect shoes, but the idea behind it is also finding the perfect shoes not to get injured, because most people are worried about getting injured. So it's just like going into the medical thing. It's something I don't really want to, but I feel there's an angle as well there.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if you get them on the list now with the traffic that you're getting, you can go any direction you want. My suggestion is just come up with something quick now. And then if you're like, okay, they're starting to bite on that, I could see how I want to try some other things. Maybe I will create some new content related to this now. By the way, that's the other thing here too, is that if you have been thinking about going into other content categories, if you can get them on your list, even though you're not going to rank immediately with Google on those content categories, they'll tell you what they're interested in, and then you can send them to that new content and start building, you know, some reputation. That's another reason to not just do away with email if you're going to go into new content verticals. Like, how often does somebody need a running shoe? So you know, I could see myself asking the question of, do I really want to invest in building a big list for that? But, you know, are they really going to? But we do know that runners run, man, and they, you know, they love it and they do it a lot. So I would want the runners on a running newsletter.
Cool. Makes sense.
All right. Hope that helps. I will post the recording as soon as it processes. It takes a little bit, probably this afternoon sometime, Kita. Anybody else stuck? Good group. My goodness, this was fantastic questions. I'm glad that you're all here. I hope this is helpful. Go out and bang it out. You can do this. Go fast, break stuff, right? We don't have to have it all figured out. No, siree. We've got Matt here and Julia and Carmen and Kita and Sarah to all help us figure it out. And Kevin is just going to look at us and go, you people are nuts. All right. Okay. Thanks, everybody. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. We'll see you.